Hello, Ricker. It's me, Bianca.
Hello, Bianca. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I want to talk to you about the Victory 1500 Relay for Life event, if I might.
Ah, perfect timing. I was just working on this car here for one of the sponsors.
Oh,
This
wow, look
this
at
here
that.
this is one of the cars that the sponsors had paid for.
That looks absolutely beautiful.
Mango will be driving this one.
Wow.
Well, there's still a few mistakes in the car. I've got to do some repairs later on. Let me show you one other car from another sponsor that we put together. This one right here. This is the one Elmer's going to be driving. His sponsor paid for Elmer, and we painted the car to their specs. And it's part memorial. The car is in memorial partly for one of their friends named Shady Fox, and
Wow.
there's Shady Fox's old profile picture on the hood there, looking down at the Relay for Life team that sponsored him. This
Wow.
car was sponsored by a Relay for Life team called the Aether Chrononauts, Tiny Steps, and they wanted to name the car Bianca. What was it they named? I do have to add that in more places. The Acts of Relay,
All right.
and we've got their friend's name Shady Fox on it. We've got the Acts of Relay on it, the name of the driver, and we've got these because the name of the team is Tiny Steps, and because Shady Fox I think was also active in the relay at one time.
Right.
We have little tiny steps, little footprints on the car
Yeah, I can
for the
see
sponsor.
those.
Yeah.
That's a pretty amazing job there. It must take a lot of work.
It does. Actually, every car that we custom paint for a sponsor takes us at least, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours with all the custom
Wow.
details we put into it, including the Relay for Life wheel well emblem that we made, and this little sunbursts between the numbers, and it just takes a lot of time. It's a very
It's very impressive. Very impressive.
Oh, thanks. So anyway, come on in, and I'll if you want to have some questions about our event, we'll have a seat
Yeah.
up here.
Well, first of all, could you tell the viewers about the event?
The event is a NASCAR style race for the Relay for Life. Of course, all proceeds go to the relay. Kind of goes without saying. It's what we do specifically, how we raise the money. Most of our money is raised before the actual event. The event is on April 11th. Starts at 10 o'clock a.m. Second Lifetime.
That's over Easter, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty close to it, I think.
Yeah.
But our the money we raise for the relay is most of it's going to be raised before the event, and by the reason for that is just we pre-sponsor the cars and the drivers. We need time to paint and everything, and it'll also be the day of the event. There will be less, pressure to give money on that day. We'll have already made the money for the relay.
Okay. And so how does someone sponsor a driver?
Well, they come to our sim, which is Nepal. You can see the top of my screen up here, Napolitans. I never knew how to say it. Napolitans. And anyway, you could search places, do a place search, right, for places. You can just type in Kidnap City. It's because it's a role play sim, and
Okay.
that'll get you there. And then you just teleport. And what was your question? How do they sponsor? They
Um,
land at the landing zone is what they do, and they walk through a teleporter that says something about the relay. They just walk their avatar through it. Accept the
okay.
You'll be prompted to accept the experience that the teleport gives you, which is just a teleport. And then you land on our little race car pad, like a
Mm.
runway for models, and you walk down past all the cars from that we had in 2016 to a room. You go to where the driver area is. You'll see a bunch of big posters with pictures of the drivers. You click on their posters, read their bios, and you select what driver you want to represent you, and then you just pay the kiosk that's at the base of that driver's poster. 25,000 lindens.
How how much? That's a bit expensive. 25,000 lindens.
25,000 lindens is expensive. It's about 100 United States dollars. And I know a lot of the teams that will that will sponsor us. There's a lot of I think there's a lot of teams that will spend that much in a relay, but they want it to go. They want to get their team the credit for it, so they can be at the top of the page on the ratings. So that's why we allow them to bring their own kiosks, right? BYOK, bring your own kiosk, which is like bring your own beer at a party. BYOK, you can bring your own kiosk. We'll put you in a land group. You can res your kiosk in front of the driver's poster and pay your own kiosk so your team gets the credit for it.
All right, so that's really good then. So they can get the credit for paying the money in that way to their team.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for spending the time to tell me. I'm sure that you've got a very busy schedule if you've got to paint all those cars. So I'll leave you to it.
Well, I have some help. I have one person that does more than me, and it's a labor-intensive event, to be honest.
Well, thank you very much for doing that for such a deserving charity.
Well, you're welcome. I mean, it's a little. I mean, everybody's doing so much. The other teams and everybody. All right, thanks. Well, I gotta get back to work.